Okay, next topic here. New vehicle selections, a new kind of like a setup. Let's see this screenshot here, Gravity. So this is the new setup here, and they have split off the jets from the other air vehicle types. So jets are going to have their own category. You guys probably could speak more about this than I would. I don't really do vehicles other than transports. So I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you guys think about this? Is this good or bad? How's it going to affect me as an
Okay,
infantry player?
so sure, I'll start with this because I mean, I'm on this menu all the time. So the things that are changed, there's the MAV and the air transports have been split, which is phenomenally great because now you could reduce the air transport numbers on on maps. So instead of saying,
Hmm.
"Hey, a map like Valparaiso where there's two transports and there's like, hey, maybe there'll be two MAVs," no, now you could limit it to only one Condor or something at a time, so there's not two or four of them blowing everybody out of this away at the same time. That's a really good
Hmm.
change. And or you could have one and one. This kind of makes the map more balanced by only having one MAV and one air transport at a time instead of two overpowered MAVs on certain maps or two overpowered Condors at a time per team. By the way, the tanks get their own heavy armor category. We do see on this is the conquest map for the new for Spearhead. So it looks like there's only one tank and one light armor available. This is again really good because this is going to balance out the vehicles. This is going to say you can only have one tank and one AA, or instead of having two tanks against two AAs, in which case the AAs, depending on how they're configured, will either run over the armor or completely get obliterated by the armor. Um, Having one of each completely balances out that air ground equilibrium, so you don't have just air vehicles getting dominated by two AAs on the ground. I love the jets and the helicopters being separated. This is something that has been needed forever. I don't
Poor
know if
jets.
what jets, right? The jets are awful in this
Poor
game.
jets.
Yeah, but at least in this regard, there can be some illusion of, hey, if somebody wants to fly a jet and do whatever they do, then you can do that without interrupting a helicopter pilot or helicopter crew. So instead of having one team have a jet and be useless while the other team has, a stealth helicopter and is wrecking the team, at least you can have both, and that's a really good balance. So yeah, this is a really good menu. Ultimately, I am of the opinion that this whole vehicle selection menu screen is poorly implemented and terrible to begin with. I would much rather go back to the BF3, BF4 style of having the maps decide what vehicles are on them instead of having every vehicle be on a map. But for what it is, this is the best iteration of the BF1, BF5 choose your own vehicle system that has been in the out since BF1, and I'm very happy with this split. Now, I think the hard part here is they better go back to every map in the game and alt and split the vehicles and make sure that they do have the correct vehicle numbers. Because what you don't want to have is like,
Hmm.
oh, suddenly there's three air transports or something on a breakthrough attack map.
No.
Still, we don't want. They need to make sure that they go through every mode and every map.
What do you think, Zena?
Um, yeah, so it's funny looking at this menu because they've had probably 10 different variations of this vehicle menu since the game came out. So and I've been there since the start. I've tier 1'd all the vehicles except the jets. Because guess what? I can never get a jet because they've always been stuck in with the damn helicopters. Because why would you take a jet when the helicopters are 10 times better? So I'm so glad to see this change. I can finally tier 1 the jets, even though I've been trying to
Yay.
since the game came out. But looking at this menu, I'm looking at a menu of balance for that will allow the infantry and vehicle players alike to, you know, to be able to do their roles, play the game how they want. I mean, Battlefield games at its core have vehicles in play, so you can't ignore that aspect. And I feel like for a while now they've just been removing vehicles out of the game. They've been taking attack choppers away. They've been taking
Hmm.
tanks away. Less vehicles in the game. I don't know if that's necessarily the right play, but looking at this menu here, having just one of each of these vehicle classes, I think that will offer a good amount of balance, and I'm excited to see how this will play out.
One thing I will add here is that The only, of course, oddball, excuse me, oddity in this map is the what is it?
Bolt?
The bolty here in the armor transport category. I get it. It's like, does it fit in light armor? No, or kind of does, but you don't want it to take up the spot of an AA or a CRAM if you can't help it. So I like the idea of putting it in the armor transport. But on the flip side, you've got a Mav where people can spawn on it, and it just cleans house. Why would you take the bolty?
This is interesting, huh?
However, I saw something on Twitter that I actually think bears repeating, and I wish I remember who said it. I think, and I agree with this person. This person is the one who came up with the idea, so it's not me. They should take the CRAM's team spawn beacon and put it on the bolty. This way, the bolty actually has an incentive for people to use it instead of the CRAM being it's already an overpowered powerhouse. So, it's got the AA and the LAV, the anti-vehicle rockets and everything. Leave it be, and then just take that and put the team thing on the bolty because it's highly maneuverable, it's armored, and it's not crazy super anti everything. So I think that would be at least it would give it a weight to have a choice.
Good point.
That's a really cool thought, and I like that actually because that offers a little bit more of a team element to compare it more equally to the Mav.
Yes. Yeah, that was a really good thought. Yeah, I wish I knew the person I saw it on Twitter, but yeah, I think it's great. That should be done.
I wonder if they're way ahead of you guys on this already.
No.
The reasoning. You don't think so?
No, I doubt it.
It's
not
so
a
weird.
chance.
Like when you guys are bringing this up, talking about the Bolt and putting in the same category as a Mav, like I feel like that's a given. Why else would they put it there?
Because they don't know what to do with it.
There's nowhere else for it to go. Yeah, they don't know what to do with the Bolt. The Bolt has been. Remember, the Bolt used to be with the tanks. The Bolt used to be with the Lat V. Like it's been in all these different categories. They don't know what to do with it because it used to be at launch. It was the same level as a tank at launch. It was a machine of destruction, but you could use 4 of them at the same time in the light armor class. It was insane. The Bolt was the most broken vehicle ever at the start of the game.
The rocket pods would chase down jets and helicopters. The mines, you could just drive over a tank and drop mines on top of it, and the tank would die. It was just the 30mm gun would waste a whole team. It was, and then like you said, you would have 4 of them. It was infuriating, and they got nerfed to the ground. So yeah, I could definitely see them adding that team beacon as a good alternative to make it a good alternative to the Mav. I think that would be a good solution.
I think if they're going to leave it out of the light armor category, the Bolt, if they're going to leave it in some kind of Mav category or tank category, I think they should give it some more health, honestly, because it's like it's a little bit weak, honestly, to be in that category of tank or whatever.
Or maybe like extend the model. Like make it a limousine and put like an extra third seat in the middle so you can at least carry another person around.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it does feel very underwhelming being in that category. But as you said, there's no other place for it. And this more or less harkens back to the, maps should have predefined vehicle number slots. This way you could guarantee that somebody at least gets one, regardless of whether it's overpowered or completely useless. This way you don't have to categorize it.
Okay, well, overall, this looks very positive from what you guys are saying. I never play vehicles. Like I said, only in light transports. I'm running around. If I need to get to somewhere, I'll call it in or something like that. But no, this is very good. If you guys think this is good, I'm gonna agree with you. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Any other extra thoughts on this from you guys?
No, this is
good.
This is the best vehicle balancing they've had in this game thus far. This is how it should be.
Agreed.
Okay, great.
Take the 30 mil off the Lat V.
and the 50 mil caliber off the Condor and the transports. That's it. That's it.
Yes. Oh, that's my biggest wish too. Like the primary gun on the Condors and the Super Hinds, you get those out of there, man. Yeah. They are ruining maps. I hate it. Luckily, the 50 cal is basically useless, but yeah.
But again, this new system, you limit it down, you cut down the numbers by half or something like that per map, and that's not going to be as annoying. It's kind of
this is good.
soft nerf for it.